Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys hire former NFL wide receiver as assistant coach. The Dallas Cowboys have been moving quietly in recent days, but they started the week with an under-the-radar move that works closer to completing the team's coaching staff. On Monday, it was announced that the Cowboys would be hiring former NFL wide receiver Tiquan Underwood as an assistant wide receivers coach. According to NFL insider Albert Breer, Underwood had interest from Florida State University before deciding to stay in the league. Underwood spent last season as an assistant wide receivers coach for the New England Patriots. He has also coached at Lafayette, the Miami Dolphins as an offensive quality control coach, Rutgers as a wide receivers coach, and Pitt as the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator. After starring at Rutgers, Underwood was drafted in the 7th round of the 2009 NFL Draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He went on to have stints with the Patriots, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Carolina Panthers before spending time in the CFL. While Underwood's hiring may not make any major waves, it is an interesting addition. Could the hire indicate the team has plans to draft a wide receiver or acquire one via trade who he may be familiar with? Only time will tell, but for now, the Cowboys are one step closer to finalizing their coaching staff. When Dallas Cowboys defensive leader Micah Parsons recently called for America's team to change, even offering to do what he can to facilitate that, this probably wasn't exactly what he had in mind. I called upon the star, said Parsons on Monday as the team headed into the offseason after a challenging 2024. I landed on it, and I'm grateful. I feel like I got one of the best jobs in America. Part of that job will be the coming negotiation of a new contract extension that could make him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history, maybe at $40 million per year. But Parsons wants something more than that, and he has visited team owner Jerry Jones to express that want. We have a great opportunity, he said of the 2025 Cowboys. I want to see change. Well, in recent days, change is what he's gotten in the form of head coach Mike McCarthy departing and defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer exiting with him. Brian Schottenheimer is now the top guy, and Matt Eberflus has been hired to replace the retiring Zimmer, meaning Micah will have a third coordinator, with Dan Quinn now in Washington, in 3 years. Is that enough change for everybody? Again, though, Micah is talking about personnel and the cap and roster building. Parsons' desire for change is not about being confrontational with Jones, it's more about Parsons' willingness to help roster build, maybe by trying to negotiate a deal quickly, thus adding to Dallas' potential $100 million in available cap room, maybe by considering taking a hometown discount. I want to see players here, he said. I aim to see some of these, in-house free agents, back in this locker room. I want to be as aggressive, in free agency, as we can be. Dallas has the financial wherewithal to do that, though COO Stephen Jones has downplayed that fact. And so yes, in theory, Micah's idea of bringing in a star player here and another one there is doable. As it happens, Jones and Parsons sat together when Texas played Ohio State in the college football playoff game at AT&T Stadium a couple of weeks ago. They talked, not only about how this year's Parsons deal can follow the big money contracts given last year to Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, but also about how Micah can contribute to making it all fit. I don't want to hold anybody up, Parsons said of his timing and his money. I don't want to be a headache to nobody. Except Cowboys opponents, of course. Cowboys add Tiquan Underwood as assistant wide receiver coach. The Dallas Cowboys have had a busy week as they continue to build their coaching staff under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. According to Albert Breer, the Cowboys have added former NFL wide receiver Tiquan Underwood to be the assistant wide receivers coach. Underwood spent 5 years in the NFL after being selected in the 7th round of the 2009 NFL Draft. After his playing career, Underwood has spent time in both the college and pro ranks with the University of Lafayette, 2018, the Miami Dolphins, 2019, Rutgers University, 2020 to 2021, University of Pittsburgh, 2022 to 2023, and the New England Patriots, 2024. Underwood has experience as a wide receivers coach, offensive quality control coach, passing game coordinator, and assistant wide receivers coach in his 5 stops. With the wide receiver coach job still to be decided, Underwood was a unique hire. Reports suggested that Underwood was receiving interest from Florida State, but elected to stay in the National Football League to work with the Cowboys receiving group that could have some new faces here soon. Cowboys connection as Myles Garrett announces trade wish. The Dallas Cowboys offseason has arrived, which means it's time for fans of America's team dream of poaching other teams' stars. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns offseason is here, too. Which means, finally, edge rusher Myles Garrett wants out. While I've loved calling this city, Cleveland, my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent, Garrett announced on Monday. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton, it has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Frustrated with the Browns, still drafting in the top 5 nearly a decade after taking Garrett with the first pick in 2017, the superstar has suggested that he needs to see a reasonable path to success. Is a shocking Garrett trade likely? He's an all-world player at the height of his powers, and maybe Cleveland could convince him to stay with the help of a shiny new quarterback. Meanwhile, after an underwhelming Dallas 7-10 campaign, are the Cowboys seen as a Super Bowl team? Garrett's unhappiness in Cleveland and the fact he's a DFW native from Arlington and a Texas A&M guy is enough for us to urge Dallas to take a look at this, and for us to do the same. The nature of Garrett's 5-year, $125 million contract means there are 2 distinct paths to a trade, before and after June 1st. But either way, this is going to be pricey for all involved. Garrett is under contract and surely sees himself as a $30 million APY talent. Garrett, 29, has a pristine reputation and like Dallas Micah Parsons is a perennial Defensive Player of the Year finalist. He has foot injury issues that his prospective new team will want to examine. But for a team with Super Bowl dreams? Now that he has officially requested a trade from the Browns, clubs like the Cowboys, who can create $100 million in cap room as needed, can do more than just dream. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Myles Garrett? Leave your opinion in the comments.